Hello, my name is Awesome Sadat, and this is my final project for my Introduction to Cybersecurity class with Dr. Alpana Raval. Excuse my voice today. I've been sick for the past week or so. Moving on. Um, this presentation will explore two-factor authentication, otherwise known as 2FA. It's also a powerful tool that bolsters user login, security, and safeguard accounts. In today's digital age, where we entrust so much personal and financial information online, cybersecurity has become more pivotal than ever before. Let's face it, online security can be a headache. I think we've all encountered many issues online, not even including phishing or scams. Hackers are constantly upping their game every single day. But luckily, so are our defenses, whether it's personal or through government. Two-factor authentication is just that. It's like a sidekick for passwords. It adds that extra layer of protection on top of passwords, just making it harder for hackers to get through and steal any kind of valuable information. So PowerPoint is titled Enhanced Security with Two-Factor Authorization, otherwise known as 2FA once again. Moving on. The introduction. Again, cybersecurity is crucial in today's digital world. Our personal and financial information is increasingly stored online, making it essential to protect ourselves from cyber attacks. This has become even more true today, where cash is becoming less of a used currency, and we're having to use online or digital banking as well. It's definitely like a double security checkpoint at this point. Passwords alone aren't enough. Hackers can steal passwords through various means nowadays, without even us giving them our passwords ourselves. Strong cybersecurity practices are needed to keep our data safe. That 2FA adds just that extra layer of defense that we need. Two-factor authentication requires a second verification step beyond your password, making it that much harder for unauthorized access, even when your password is compromised. This all just serves to deter any kind of unauthorized attempts that are making it through or trying to make through. We get those email notifications that just let us know, hey, you've got a person trying to log in from, who knows, Canada or some country in the other side of the world. And it's great where we have this and we have our phones on us or some kind of token, and it just lets us protect. Now, what exactly is it? So it is to strengthen that login security. Two-factor authentication requires two different methods to verify your identity when logging in, adding the extra hurdle. Now, it uses two types of factors. These are something it could be a password, and when you have something on you, your phone with an authentication app, whether it's Google, Microsoft, Authy, anything you could use really. And there's also fingerprints as well, but that wouldn't be used as often for the 2FAs. That's more something like unlocking your phone, or if it's like a door for work or security. That passwords alone are susceptible to brute force attacks, phishing attempts, and data breaches, making it necessary for that additional security feature or measure like 2FA. So how does it work? So two factors are commonly used once again. This password, and you would need either a email account. Everyone has an email. Cell phone. Everyone has a cell phone nowadays. So for SMS based, so passwords are typically memorized, but that second factor, starting with text messages. You receive a one-time password. Usually it's in the form of numbers. I think we've all received those 5 or 6 digits. Same with the time-based one-time passwords. It usually could be used as a token. Um, Now, the users again can use it just like in Google, Microsoft. It really just depends on the user. I know for UHV, for instance, our school here, many times every time I log in at school, I do have to use a Microsoft Authenticator, and I'm sure it's the same case for most, if not everyone else. So it's incredibly advantageous for the fact that no matter where you are, you can access that SMS based. Yeah, it's easy to use. Everyone knows how to use a cell phone. Your grandma could use it, your kid could use it. Spend almost all their time on it, really. Um, and really, it's just a unique code. Disadvantages, SIM swapping, SIM swapping. It's hackers can hijack phone numbers to insert SMS codes. Reliance on mobile network delays or failures in SMS delivery can disrupt logins. And of course, it's not suitable for the offline use. When you're using a cell phone, you have to have that stable cellular connection. Sometimes we're traveling afar, abroad, or even when we're in bad areas in our own cities, it could be pretty hard to get that 2FA from text. And I've myself have received those problems as well. Now the token or the time-based one-time passwords, I'm used to calling it token. I remember when I first used it, I think it was back in 2010. It was actually for an online video game called Final Fantasy 11. There's a lot of those, and it was essentially this token where I click a button, it's already associated with an account and my email and servers, and every time I click the button, I get sent a new one-time password that is time-based. I believe that one was about 60 seconds, if not a couple minutes. Now, they do work nowadays through scanning QR codes or manually shared, like a like a onto the authenticator app. Usually, if it's from work, for instance, for me, they did give me like a login for it, and that's usually how you would get into it. Um, Now, it could protect you in several ways, of course. Um, it does have its limitations, but it can protect you in cases where data breaches are common. Even the strongest password can be compromised today. 2FA adds a second crucial step, making it much harder. Keyloggers can be a hidden threat on untrusted devices. Keyloggers, where they record um, your key inputs for your keyboard. This is pretty common, not common, but it's mostly used in public areas settings, libraries or cafes, sometimes even gaming cafes, which are way more common in like Asia. 2FA helps mitigate this risk because the temporary code changes frequently. That really just helps to render any stolen information useless by the next login attempt. That's that time-based token number. Now remember, passwords are still essential. That's the most important thing. Keeping a strong password is probably the most important thing you can also do, besides any kind of preventative measures. 2FA should be used in conjunction with and not as a replacement for creating secure passwords. And that's perhaps the biggest factor that will really deter people from using 2FA far more often. Now, like I said, it does not protect you from everything. It's not, omnipotent. Social engineering attacks aren't limited to users. Hackers might even target website employees with scams to gain access to internal systems. I've had this actually happen at a previous job of mine. Um, I have, I have older employees at retail jobs. They're not exactly the most tech savvy. Understandable, nothing to blame against them really. But getting calls where they need your private information. Hey, it's HR. We gotta get some important information from you. They could fall for that a little more often than expected. Phishing attacks are getting more sophisticated, such as man in the middle, with reverse proxies, and can trick users into unknowingly giving away their credentials to a fake site and then forward them to a real one. Now, this can happen with not even just credentials like your login info. This could even be social security information, which has happened many times across America to many elderly victims. Actually, I just watched a movie called was it The Beekeeper with Jason Statham recently. It's actually kind of a similar predicament where his elderly friend who took care of him for a bit ends up losing her entire life savings to a scamming company that calls and collects their information through these phishing attacks. Man in the middle, exactly what it is. And she loses over 2 million of her savings, and that's it. She's done for. And unfortunately, it gets worse from there. But y'all would just have to watch the movie. In conclusion, empower your security. Two-factor authentication isn't just a security feature; it's your digital armor against cyber threats. Take control by adopting 2FA. You take proactive steps to safeguard your digital identity and personal information. Right? Stay ahead. In a world of ever evolving cyber threats, 2FA keeps you one step ahead, fortifying your defenses and thwarting unauthorized access. Uh, be confident when you're online, not arrogant. With 2FA, you can navigate the digital landscape with confidence. Uh, and forge forward. Let it be a shield, ensuring your security and preserving your peace of mind on top of your strong passwords. Ultimately, 2FA is a useful and powerful tool for accessing accounts and safekeeping that sensitive information. Um, now, this could really just apply to anybody, from just basic employees at a Starbucks to even administrators. Um, even a system administrator can suggest for employees to use a password manager, add on a layer of security, force them to use 2FA. This is usually seen in like government level agencies and hospitals, healthcare. However, it can be used in any kind of work environment, really. And ideally, it should be used in any and every work environment, especially those with strong HIPAA rights and health violations that could occur if patients' information are just out there. Like that was a recent 21andMe, 23andMe, for the genetics, all that patients' data is just released everywhere. This is the same for even app developers who are at risk to lose a lot of customers' use of insecure passwords, or if a data breach occurs, which happens more often than not. In conclusion, 2FA is great, but passwords, you really have to keep those passwords strong. Thank you for joining me today. If you guys have any questions about 2FA or cybersecurity in general, feel free to ask. Ultimately, let's create a safe online space together. Thank you.